It can start with something as simple as booking a hotel room online, or ordering flowers, renting a car, buying movie tickets, or buying one of those TV products.
It lets you slice your prep time in half.
When you do call now for the Slice-O-Matic, you end up navigating a complicated telephone obstacle course to order the device, and then you get this.
Just for calling today, we'd like to thank you with $10 cash back on your Slice-O-Matic purchase today, just for trying our Everyday Savings program for 30 days for $1.
So for $1, I can get $10 back. Sounds like a good deal. I said yes. A lot of people do. But only then do they tell you that you're actually signing up for a recurring monthly charge of $14.99 for this Everyday Savings program. The series of questions on the call seemed deliberately confusing. In fact, we somehow ended up with not just one or two, but 3 Slice-O-Matics. And what is Everyday Savings? It's one of more than a dozen different membership programs operated by a company called Affinion. The memberships, or clubs with names like Great Fun and Traveler's Advantage, offer discounts to various products and services. The company has a large call center in Westerville, where hundreds of representatives field literally thousands of phone calls every week.
If anybody was ever to listen to a majority of the calls that come through here, they would be horrified.
Former employee Rick Stevens says the vast majority of callers he spoke with said they did not knowingly sign up, and for some the charges caused significant hardship.
I've had people call in and say, I can't pay my rent or my rent check bounced because you took $24.99 out of my bank for the last 6 months.
Great Fun was no fun, and Chase was no help.
Drew Palmater says he noticed charges for Great Fun on his Chase bank account and had no idea what it was or how he'd signed up. He says he complained to both the bank and Affinion, but the charges continued for 10 months. We encouraged him to call and demand answers, and we were there when he made the call. And they told him he'd signed up through
Priceline.com? Really?
They said he'd signed up back in 2009.
Well, I made a hotel reservation or something and got signed up with you.
A number of online retailers have allowed Affinion to insert a pop-up box into their checkout transaction offering cash back by signing up for one of the programs or clubs. A 2009 U.S. Senate investigation into the practice concluded that the goal of these clubs was not to provide services, but to charge consumers' credit cards for as many months as possible before consumers discovered their memberships and canceled them. And the report also described company policies intended to minimize the amount of money they would have to return to consumers who had inadvertently enrolled in the clubs. Jeff Leon is an attorney leading one of a number of class action lawsuits against Affinion.
They'll make you jump through a lot of steps and take a lot of time, knowing that most consumers won't take the time to jump through all the steps, and therefore they will have made money.
Because I want that money back.
Drew Palmater kept jumping the hoops, and Great Fun has now promised a full refund, but he's still angry.
Having these big collusion agreements with other big things like Priceline and Great Fun to take $11.99 out of someone's account monthly who works for a living, who don't even realize they signed up for something that's not right.
The company claims to have 180 million consumers enrolled in different programs. A spokesman talked to us by phone from company headquarters in Connecticut.
The U.S. Senate report and a number of class action lawsuits that are out there now clearly paint the picture that what your company is doing is deceptive, overly aggressive and deceptive marketing. What do you say to that?
Ultimately, we were telling consumers 6, 7, and 8 times that we were going to bill them before we billed them. I don't know how you can label that as misleading.
But Rick Stevens says the calls from consumers say otherwise.
I think that they literally are stealing from people.
And consumer attorney Jeff Leon agrees.
This isn't even a close call. This isn't a productive business activity. It's a business activity that is just trying to see how far the envelope can be pushed before somebody steps in and calls a stop to it.